Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to yet another review or conversation. This is episode 2, Car Connections, Sunday Drive. I just got here to this amazing little park. We're going to talk about little things. I'm going to give you a little walk around of the car. Some of you guys have been asking to show more of the car and a little less of me talking. Fair point. Point taken. So let's go ahead and do that then, I guess. Let's roll up these windows. Camera might be a little shaky. Again, I'm not a professional YouTuber, and I'm not attempting to be a professional YouTuber. There is no editing in my videos. So for you guys that like a very crisp and clean video, this is probably not the channel for you. This is just raw, and it's basically what comes out of my mind. So I hope you guys enjoy. Also, I'm letting the beard Mustang grow. This is a whopping 3 weeks in the making. So don't make fun of me. I know some of you guys, if you allowed your mustache and beard for 3 weeks, you would probably look like Santa Claus. That's not the case for me. So we're going to start our vlog this morning. And it's a beautiful Sunday here at the park. So let's get started. I'm going to do the walk around the car. All right, there you go. What a beautiful day. It's Sunday. I don't even know what Sunday we're on. We must have had some kind of event here yesterday. Check it out. I'm gonna turn the camera around. That way you guys can kind of check it out. It's a beautiful day, guys. It's about 70 degrees. Apologize for the wind noise, as I'm sure you guys are getting some of it right now. All right, so hopefully you guys are able to hear me and the wind noise is not over distracting. If it is, again, I apologize in advance. If the video starts to get too distracting for you guys because of the wind, I'll understand why you're kind of signing off a little bit. 10-4, point taken. So today's video, I wanted to focus around, I wanted to update you guys on several things, but the main topic of this video today, and again, this is episode 2, Sunday drive with Car Connections. Granted, I'm not driving, but I did drive with my Camaro to the park today. And again, it's early in the morning, Sunday, beautiful, 70 degrees and sunny. I know you guys up north are probably not as lucky as me to have this type of weather today, and apologies. But so 2 things. And the first thing I want to talk about is electrification of cars in the auto industry. We all know about Tesla and what they're doing in the market space. But it looks like there's a lot of automotive vehicles, BMW, Audi, I mean, you name them, they're all getting into the electric car space. Tesla, we would say, are probably the first people that really started to put all their money and eggs into their portfolio. And now everybody else is tending to catch up. And because of that, of course, it's creating competition, which is awesome, because that's going to allow the technology around battery to advance. And so the problems with the electric cars, if you want to call them, if it really is a problem, some people might think it's not a problem right now, and it's perfect. Look at this tree. How beautiful does that look with the sun, guys? Sorry, I get easily distracted. And what it does is, some people might be comfortable with the current range that these cars give, but there's a lot of folks that will not. And what is known in the industry when the car doesn't give you enough range, it's called range anxiety. And the good thing is that, there's cars out there that are already giving you 300, 400 miles per charge. So there's several things that need to happen for people to start to adapt to electric cars. One is giving the cars more range, which we're seeing that technology is starting to really catch up and the competition is starting to really grow. But once you have it, you also need a specific type of ecosystem that supports the electrification, right? And so what do I mean by electrification? I mean that you need a full type of ecosystem, such as car chargers, throughout the United States. And I don't want to just keep it to the United States. You really need some kind of initiative that just is not happening in the States, but also in Europe and you name it, wherever cars at, so people can start to really adapt to electrification of the automobile. Excuse me. I'm just enjoying it out here. It's so beautiful out here today, guys. So again, you need the ecosystem in order for it to support what you're trying to do, and so for folks to really adapt to this new type of technology. And so it's like, the natural or regular combustion, car, which we know as the cars of today, they have an ecosystem that supports that type of vehicle, right? And that is gas stations. People will not have range anxiety because they know that the ecosystem, and again, gas stations are all nearby for them. Making sense? So there's several things that need to happen in the automotive industry specific to electrification, and that is, one, reduce the cost so it becomes more affordable. Two, an ecosystem, right? And three, incentives maybe from the government or the state that help support the electrification of the car. And so once you have those two things, what starts to happen is you start to get adaptability. And so more people will gravitate to owning an electric car. As you guys know in the channel, I own a Chevrolet Volt and I have my Camaro ZL1. And of course, those are two spectrums of the automotive industry. But I love my Volt because it gives me two things. I don't get range anxiety because it still uses a gas engine. And I'm able to get up to 41 miles on just electricity only. So it's almost like a hybrid, if you want to call it, but not technically a hybrid. It's the first time I've ever owned a Chevrolet Volt. Okay? And I'm really liking the car. So what's happened to me is I've gone from cars that I've always owned, they're all natural combustion engines. And so what's helping me bridge the gap is going into a hybrid. That's helping me. There's some folks that are going to need a bridge to be able to switch over to a new type of car. So one of the things that we've heard in the automotive industry is allegedly Dodge is working on the new Challenger and the new Charger. They're probably going to come out in like 2022, 23. Again, this is not new to me, guys. You guys can all read it. It's all public. Where they're working on an engine that, to get the torque off the line, it's electric, but the power or the horsepower of the car is a natural combustion engine. Now, what's cool about that is that you're going to get two things. You're going to get the instant torque of the electric vehicle, and then you're going to get the horsepower of the natural aspirated engine. And what's cool about that is that is a way Dodge allegedly is going to use this technology. Now, this technology already exists today, I think, on the new Dodge Ram Limited, where it gives you this instant little torque because it's using an electric engine to produce the torque. I think it's an engine, guys. You guys keep me honest. And they're using that to adapt, and they're still staying with the combustion engine. So they've used a way or a formula to combine both, which again It's a way of adaptability to the new vehicles that are coming out in the market space. So I'm gonna turn around here, but I wanted to show you this how beautiful it is out. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this I know is a little different. I'm not showing you my car. This is more of enjoying the outdoors and how beautiful it is, but at the same time, just talking about cars. So give me a thumbs up if you guys are liking this, or if you guys just want me to stick to just driving the car and yapping away and looking at my face instead of staring at something beautiful and learning about cars. So going back. So Dodge is doing this, and of course, I don't think Dodge, you know, as we all know, I don't think they're ahead of technology. I have a feeling that Audi and some other, I'm gonna pause for a little bit, somebody with a radio. They're not the only ones, right? Now, I'm sure there's folks out there in the automotive industry that would laugh at this technology that Dodge has rolled out with. But it is a place to go ahead and start the transition between a natural combustion engine and electric cars. So again, I want to share with you guys of what are the transition points that need to happen in order for folks to adapt, and what some automotive, you know, folks are doing out there to try to bridge that gap. It's coming, guys, right? I do believe you give it 20, 30 years from now, you know, we're going to have more electric cars than natural combustion engines. I think I believe it, and I bet you there's a lot of folks that are probably in the same space as I am. And I think there's going to be a transition point. You guys can look at some old videos and pictures. They exist today on YouTube. I want to say it was in the 1920s and 1930s when Henry Ford developed his car, and there was a transition point where literally there was horses and cars at the same time. There was horses, wagons, and just regular cars that Mr. Ford had developed. And I do believe that we're already starting some of that transition. I think we're seeing it today. We're seeing the electrification of cars starting to really bleed into the ecosystem of natural combustion vehicles. And so in about 30 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to notice that, like, wow, everything around me is so electrified. And it all lines up with, you know, smart homes and how technology is advancing and making life easier for a bunch of us. And so, you know, for us that really love the smell of an engine, the sound of, you know, a naturally aspirated V8 engine, you know, I do believe that with the new technology that's coming out, you know, it's going to start to just disappear, because you're going to get so much more function out of these electric cars from a reliability perspective, because, you know, these engines, these electric engines, they literally don't require any type of like maintenance, such as oil changes, and there's no gear changing on your transmission. I mean, it's just it's self-sufficient and reliable as you could imagine. So you're seeing all these things are happening, and either we're going to adapt to it, or what they're going to do is like what Dodge is doing, it is just lay down the groundwork for folks to adapt between electric and natural combustion engines by themselves. So listen, look at this beauty. So I know there's a lot of wind, but check it out. Look at this tree. It's fantastic. All right. So again, I apologize for any wind noise that you guys are getting. I hope this video is coming out okay, but it's just so beautiful out here. All right, so I think I've said a lot about electricity, you know, the car and the car electric industry and what's happening and what's coming down the wayside. What do you guys think? You guys think that in about 20, 30 years, you know, technology is going to catch up and we're going to have very powerful electric cars that are literally going to just destroy any natural naturally, goddamn, man.
struggling with that word. Naturally aspirated engine. Yeah, there you go. I hope I got it right. So that's what I want to talk about, because it's happening in front of our eyes. Some of are blind, some of are not accepting it. Some of them are, are very traditionalist or old school in the way we think. And I'm more around, look, bring it on, dude. If it's gonna simplify my life, if it's gonna make the car safer, more reliable, I'm a guy that'll adapt to it. I think it's he or her that decides to become stagnant and doesn't adapt to change. This world will change so quickly now that if you don't adapt, good luck, right? And so that's what's going on in the electric industry. I'm gonna keep it short to that. There's a lot more I can discuss. If you guys like this topic, I can make another follow-up video and talk a little bit more deep in regards to the technology and who and what cars are bringing some crazy stuff. So what are some good updates that are going out right now? I think, as you guys know, the new 2020 GT500 is about to be released. I think I heard, or I read an article where Ford is going to start releasing some of the cars to go into production and actually be out in the, look at that bird. Beautiful. And 2020 GT500, I think they released the embargo on it on October the 29th. There's some YouTubers already in Las Vegas right now that Ford has kindly flown in to go ahead and test drive those cars on the track and on the street. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to what people say about the car. I think it's a beautiful car. It's great for the automotive industry. But as I just mentioned around the electrification, could this be the last generation of the GT500 and naturally aspirated engine with a supercharger on it? So it's not really naturally aspirated. Could that be it? Could that be the last generation where then, Ford transitions over to electric? I think it is, guys. This might be the last of a dying breed. They tend to keep these cars for 8 to 10 years. Ford does, the GT500. They rarely bring out new generations. And so, could that be it? Maybe. It is a beautiful car. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love, cars that have the smell and the ride and the sound. And I don't think the electric cars can do that. But, these millennials or the new folks coming down the pipeline, they probably don't care for stuff like that, right? It's just a different world. And so the GT500 embargo is released on October the 29th. Keep me honest, guys. I'm excited to see what regular folks say, right, that are driving the car, not just, what these folks want to sell you on what the car does, and get what people are seeing in the real life from a track perspective, 0 to 60, quarter mile, all that stuff. I think the car's going to do great. And then, of course, we still haven't seen the wide body Charger out there yet. We've seen a couple of videos, but that car should also be being released soon out to the market space. I think we all know that, the Charger wide body, you can get it on the Scat Pack and it's standard on the Hellcat. But it's just a Hellcat. It's not the Red Eye. I think we all know that the Red Eye will be coming in probably, 9 months or a year from now. So, that'll be pretty cool. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. I think the topic of this video is more around the electrification of cars and what are my thoughts, what are your thoughts, And the other thing is, give me a thumbs up if this is something that you guys like, instead of just doing your traditional, driving, and just talk about cars, but more out in the beauty of nature. So let me turn this around. And again, this is unedited. You're seeing the raw as it comes in. If you guys are enjoying this, give me a thumbs up. If you're not, give me a thumbs down. I'm okay with it. Any feedback? Tell me, what do you think? What do you think is coming up in the auto industry? I would like to hear your thoughts. Sunday, fun day. My Astros won last night to tie the series, and which is awesome. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday with your family. Hope you guys are doing well. Try to take it easy, enjoy life a little bit, and I'll talk to you guys next Sunday. Peace out.